Thanks, guys, for taking the time. I'm Chris Donaldson, Director of Corporate Development for Western Copper and Gold. Western Copper and Gold has a fairly straightforward story. We have one project, which is the Casino deposit up in Yukon. Yukon is northern Canada, northwest Canada, up by Alaska. And this is a picture of the deposit right now, which is the hill that you see there. This part of the Yukon is actually ideal for building a mine. It's not very mountainous. It's certainly cold, but doesn't get a lot of snow. I will be making some forward-looking statements, so please read this if you're going to make an investment. A little bit about the company. We trade on the TSX and the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol WRN. We've got, we'll finish the year with probably around $2 million cash in the bank. Our share price right now is around $1 Canadian, which gives us a market cap of about 100 or 108 million Canadian as well. Where the shares held, 7% is held by our chairman, Dale Corman. And then we've got about 50% of the company owned by private high net worth investors. And we call these guys friends of Dale's. It's really a group of about 7 or 8 people who have been longtime shareholders with us and have been making money with Dale over the years. We do have a royalty on the property, and that's held by Osisko. Previously, that was held by Orion. So that's Dale up on the left there. He's our chairman. His big win was with Western Silver. That was the Penasquito deposit. He developed that and then sold Western Silver for $1.6 billion in 2006 to Glamis Gold, which was in turn taken over by Gold Corp. The gentleman in the middle is our president and CEO. That's Paul Westsells. He is a metallurgist by trade. And then key to this project, as we are developing the project right now, is Cam Brown, former project manager for Bechtel Engineering, built out the Los Pelambres mine, so he's got large copper experience. So we don't normally talk about the board of directors, but we've added a couple of new ones. The two on the bottom there, Tara Christie we brought her on for all of her knowledge of the Yukon. She was a founding member of the regulatory body up there. And Ken Williamson. Ken was on a number of boards, but most recently on the board of Gold Corp when they were acquired by Newmont. He joined our board as well. So Casino project is a large project. It's large for both its gold and its copper. What you see on the top are the reserves, and on the bottom is the inferred resource. So all in, you've got 18 million ounces of gold and 10 billion pounds of copper. Is it copper or is it a gold project? By way of revenue, if we were in production today, it'd be about split 50-50 with a large chunk of moly there as well. It'd be 44% copper, 42% gold. So I won't talk too much about the copper market, but what we did here, we did an exercise and went out and said which projects out there on the TSX or TSX Venture are not yet owned by majors. And we could only come up with 15. And, there's all kinds of projects there. A number of those will never be developed or in areas you wouldn't want to develop a mine. A number of them aren't economic or will never be economic. You're really only left with a couple or a few projects that are of any significant size. And of course, Casino is one of those. And then we did the same with on the gold side. We listed the top 10 gold deposits in the world, and Casino sits in that, of course, with 18 million ounces of gold. So here's where the camp will be, and we're calling this "Take a New Look at the Casino Deposit." We've actually had a pretty busy year. We did a few different things. And I'll go through those now. So kind of where we were. So we've done a full bankable feasibility study in 2013. We've been up in the community now for a dozen years. Believe it or not, I was up in the Yukon yesterday on doing some community events. And then this year, we've actually had an active year. So we acquired the property right next to us and also did some drilling. And those results are just coming out right now, which is yielding some pretty interesting things. We have a clear path ahead. So we're going to get these assays out. We'll issue a new resource and then look to update our feasibility towards the end of next year. So just a little bit about the deposit itself, and this is a cross section. So what you see on top there, we have a gold cap, which is 157 million tons at 0.3% or grams per ton gold. So not high grade. We have to mine it off anyways. That goes on a heap leach to start. But what you see underneath there is the bulk of the deposit there in the two orange, and that's a billion tons at 0.5% copper equivalent. Importantly on that is the first 4 years is at 0.7% copper equivalent. So we get a good infusion of cash early on. And that's initial mine life of 22 years. You put a pit around everything, and you've got a 55-year mine life. Economics on the project are good, 3 billion NPV at spot prices. You got a 26% IRR and a 2-year payback. Importantly, all throughout the cycle there, even at $1,000 gold and $2 copper, we were above 15% IRR. So two things make this project work. One is at high grade, initially at 0.7. The second is a strip ratio at 0.59 to 1. This is really best in class. Costs on that, best to look at it as a co-product basis. You're looking at $1.26 per pound of copper to produce a pound of copper, and $725 to produce an ounce of gold. CapEx on the project, it's, big projects come with larger CapEx on that, $2.5 billion. Certainly large if you look at it from a gold lens, but average if you're looking at it from a copper lens. And this is a graph of copper intensity where you see we're right about in the middle of that, and half of those projects are greater than $2.5 billion. So talking about the things that we did here, we bought the project or the property next to us. That's what you see kind of with the outline there, Canadian Creek property. What you see is golden soils, and that will just add to our gold cap. And basically, it's the rest of our deposit that we got. Importantly, it also bridges us closer to the coffee project that is owned by Goldcorp and Newmont Goldcorp now. Second thing we did was a bunch of infill drilling. Within the pit, there is a bunch of material that is now considered inferred. We drilled that. We're drilling it out. We'll convert that into a resource. It'll also help lower the strip ratio even further. Here's the drilling here. It might be a bit tough to see, but around the outside in the blue are the new drill campaign. And what was important on that, when we got fairly lucky on that, we hit a high-grade intercept of 55 grams per ton. That's the third one you see in purple there. You hit high-grade once, and it's just anomalous on that, and then you hit it 2 times. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Now we've got 3. So this is one of the focuses for next year will be to go after that high-grade zone. It's key to us. If we can prove out a high-grade gold zone, you may have a starter operation to help ease into the project. What you see on the left there is the western step out. That's onto the new property that we've just acquired. And the northern step out is interesting as well. Those assays will be out in the next few weeks. Likely will just show that the already big project is going to get even bigger. So any development property, you've got to really get social license. As I said, we're up in the Yukon all the time. I was there yesterday. We've been up there for a dozen years and have good relations up in the Yukon. Importantly, in the area that we're in, the government of Canada has funded 2 roads to come into the property. So you've got 2 government roads that are coming in. And what's interesting to look at is what's happening in the region here. We're the area in orange. Right beside us, you've got Newmont and Goldcorp. In the pink there, you've got White Gold. That's owned by Agnico and Kinross, 20% each. And in that area, you've already got 25 million ounces of gold identified with 2 government-funded roads that are coming in. This is an emerging district. In that area, White Gold had 3 drills going. We had 2 drills going. Newmont had 5 drills, and Triumph had a number as well. That 25 million ounces is only growing. So just kind of to highlight here, I mean, we're checking all the boxes. You've got a sizable deposit for both gold and copper. We've got good social license up there. It's economic, and we've got some pretty good upside as well. So over the next little bit, we've got a steady stream of milestones that we're going to be hitting, some catalysts with the new assays, new resource, updated feasibility, and so it should be quite an interesting year ahead. So thanks, guys.